What's the most dangerous animal on the planet?
Sharks.
White people.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
A friend of mine, a white friend of mine, is having big feelings about something racist that they did, and I have to somehow alleviate their guilt rather than focus on the ways that I'm hurt.
Put everything out of your mind and focus on his pale ass feelings.
That's racist!
When are white people most dangerous? When they feel uncomfortable.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
In reality, we are only as mighty as we are united. You see, Aaron, our powers are collective.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
It's an old trope. As long as there have been white people writing, there has been this trope.
I think that you look like Chuck E.
So
Cheese,
thank
the
you for
animatronic
that.
rat. Chuck E. Cheese the rat! Chuck E. Cheese the rat! And ask the hotel to have the rat removed. I'll get it.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 995,000 awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. As you know, Hollywood is looking at some harder times after coming off a year of hard times. Multiple flops, sinking stocks and subscriber counts on their streaming services, DEI backlash, proxy wars, scandals, and last-minute firings, all while coming down from their 4-year divisive bender, where the vast majority of them are sequels and prequels that most people didn't even ask for. And after watching the Oscars, it's pretty clear that the edict has come down from on high. Maybe we should tone things down a little bit in Hollywood. And if it wasn't for the insecure Jimmy Kimmel walking right into the orange man's trap, they almost pulled it off.
Has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos.
Got him!
Has Hollywood learned their lesson? Did they get the message about the message? Are they going to circle the wagons, lay low, play it safe, and dial down the whole pissing off half the country thing? Well, as best as possible. Or would they release, say, a potentially deeply divisive movie that would piss off the 5s and 10s of people who would bother to watch it? One could say that I should do the same and maybe not wade into controversy since I am so close to 1 million subscribers. Well, it looks like Hollywood and I finally have something in common. We both listen to Booger.
Every now and then, say what the f***. What the f*** gives you freedom? Freedom brings opportunity. Opportunity makes your future.
So let's talk about
the American Society of Magical Negroes.
Now, to be fair, the trope of the
Magical Negroes
did exist, and it potentially could have been a good premise for a great comedy based on the Key and Peele sketch alone.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Stanley.
Carl.
There can be only one magical Negro!
Unfortunately, we got easily the worst movie of the last few years. This made Madam Web look like Shakespeare, and instead of getting a clever satire, we got 30 minutes of what was a borderline Birth of a Nation for a modern audience. Okay, that might be a little rough. I think a better description would be 30 to 35 minutes of your garden variety average Kotaku staff meeting. And hey, according to a writer from Kotaku, you can't be racist against white people, and well, this movie certainly agrees with her. Yes, it was that racist. I kept waiting for the punchline. I kept waiting for the resolution, and it never happened. And to make things worse, the rest of the film devolved into a nauseating rom-com. And I guess the best news for Hollywood is absolutely no one is going to go to see this. And that probably had everything to do with the first trailer that got released a couple of months ago that was ratioed into oblivion. Hell, this movie is so bad that not even the Access Media and corporate legacy media critics can back this up. All right, I put this off long enough. Let's break down
the American Society of Magical Negroes.
Don't worry, this won't take long. The film centers around our non-threatening, diverse male protagonist, Aaron, who is a struggling artist trying to sell his piece at a modern art gallery. Quick aside on modern art, it's complete bullshit. It's for bored rich people to try to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense and out-interpret each other over art that is created generally by an alcoholic psychopath. Aaron fails to sell his piece at the modern art gallery, and now he's broke after spending his last $3,000 on yarn. And on his way home, he tries to help a drunk white girl with her ATM, and of course, her boyfriend and his friend come up and think that he's robbing her because he's black and threatening. There is no universe where this guy is threatening. But our non-threatening, diverse male protagonist is saved last minute by David Alan Grier's Roger and recruited into
the Society of Magical Negroes.
As per the film's synopsis, a young, diverse, non-threatening man gets recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to making white people's lives easier. Although initially enamored with his new powers, he begins to question the value of using supernatural means to do the very thing he's felt obligated to do his whole life.
Message!
And why does
the American Society of Magical Negroes
feel the need to make things easier for
people?
Well, I think it's better to let the film explain.
What's the most dangerous animal on the planet?
Sharks.
White people.
Wow, subtle. Almost as subtle as that imagery, but maybe they're leading up to a punchline.
When are white people most dangerous?
And they're teamed up with sharks.
When they feel uncomfortable. Feeling uncomfortable precedes a lot of bad stuff for us. White people move into a neighborhood, they feel uncomfortable, gentrification.
Damn. Okay, I'll be patient. Maybe this joke or satire requires a little more setup.
White cop sees a black man, feels uncomfortable, another shooting.
Bit on the nose, but we saw that one coming. And hey, let's not get bogged down with any statistics that might undermine that narrative.
There was a time when all you had to do is look at a white man and make him uncomfortable. That was pretty much it for you. For some of us, the last thing we see in this world is an uncomfortable white man.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Okay, here comes the punchline.
We are the vanguard of white relaxation. Black knights making sure that they don't take it out on a brother.
And no, the punchline never came, and not to get too far ahead of myself in this review, it never does. Hell, they were so proud of that scene, they not only put it in the trailer, they released it as a full separate clip. And let's not forget that white discomfort is measured by a white tears meter.
White people feeling uncomfortable precedes a lot of bad stuff for us. That's why we fight white discomfort every day.
That's right. According to this film, the safety of all black people in America, by the way, is based on white comfort. That's strange because I seem to recall Jar Jar Abrams' organization Bad Reboot proclaiming enough white comfort during the Summer of Love. No, I'm not going to let that go. And why does David Alan Grier recruit the non-threatening, diverse male protagonist?
I know you can feel their discomfort, Aaron. Watching you walk through a room full of white people was the most painful thing I've ever seen.
Excuse me.
I mean, aside from being a non-threatening, diverse male protagonist, is that he's over-accommodating to white people because he's constantly in fear for his life, according to the film, which makes him a perfect recruit for
the American Society of Magical Negroes,
which, as the film stated multiple times within the first 20 minutes, is a collective of magical black people who are assigned to specific white people. What's behind these assignments? How does it keep all black people in America safe? No idea. But we do find out a little bit about the origins of this society. It comes from a group of slaves who developed this collective magic to make white people feel more calm. Now, I think a better use for it would have been to escape. Anywho, David Alan Grier assigns our slightly effeminate, non-threatening, diverse male protagonist to the mediocre white guy, tech bro Jason. Exactly how is the mediocre white guy, tech bro Jason's comfort and existential threat to black people in America? Don't know. He only exists to be a slight plot complication and a caricature, but to be fair, that's what everyone is in this film. It's indiscriminate. While at the same time, it's filled with discrimination. But through the mediocre white guy, we round out the cast with Lizzie, the vaguely diverse female love interest. Again, the first third of this film is essentially racism's greatest hits. Then it devolves into a Gen Z love triangle rom-com, which made me miss the racism. At least it broke the monotony. Yes, there were some other caricatures that were mostly cameos in
the American Society of magical Negroes.
And dumb white people. And the irony is that the trope of the
magical Negro
includes that character not having any agency, and Aaron, spelled A-R-E-N, our non-threatening diverse male protagonist, doesn't have any agency. And the rest of
the American Society of Magical Negroes
includes exciting twists and turns, like the company that they all work for, Meatbox, getting into a controversy over their facial recognition software not being able to identify black people. Vaguely diverse female love interest being passed over for a presentation by mediocre white guy. Our non-threatening diverse male protagonist being told by
the Society of Magical Negroes
that he can no longer pursue vaguely diverse female love interest because his client, mediocre white guy, has fallen for her.
You cannot have a relationship with Lizzie now, because if you don't put Jason first, everyone's magic will fail.
And if that happens, and I'll quote from the film, he will get the worst punishment imaginable. His memory will be erased, and he will be banished to live as a regular black person in America.
WTF, Gary? WTF? What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh.
And again, most of this film was a Gen Z love triangle. What's a Gen Z love triangle? Well, it's a love triangle minus the humans and the human emotions. In truth, and you're just gonna have to take my word for it because there's no clips out there to back this up, they did manage to sprinkle in some racism throughout this slog of a story, including David Alan Grier's Roger insinuating that our unthreatening diverse male protagonist was fucked up because he was raised around white people and part of the training of
the American Society of Magical Negroes
includes helping shape an acceptable white person.
We saving the damn world.
And our unthreatening diverse male protagonist telling an anecdotal story about witnessing a very comfortable white guy being genuinely surprised he was being mugged, and Aaron, spelled A-R-E-N, somehow surmised that was white privilege and comfort. But the worst part of the film was the message. No, not the message, although it was filled with that. It turns out that
the American Society of Magical Negroes
is a self-absorbed personal journey about an unthreatening, diverse male protagonist who believes he has spent his life trying to make white people feel comfortable, who got a job where he has to make white people feel comfortable, deciding that he doesn't want to make white people feel comfortable anymore. And you know this because you saw it in the trailer.
I've always felt like it's my job to make white people feel comfortable, and here it literally is. But maybe it shouldn't be.
And it all ends with the mediocre white guy's presentation and the unthreatening diverse male protagonist being upset that he was only asked on stage because he was black. Never mind the fact that the only reason he was at that job to help the mediocre white guy was because he was black. And then Aaron, spelled A-R-E-N, starts screeching about living in a world that wants him dead. And for the first time in his 27 years, he realizes he deserves to be here. And he realizes that the source of all his fears and shortcomings is white people in society.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Basically, the diversity Gen Z version of the Barbie speech, although quite frankly, it makes the Barbie speech sound reasonable. Ultimately, this film, directed by first-time director Kobe LeBee, is a self-insert working through his personal hang-ups.
Oh my God.
All through a very boring and racist rom-com. Again, a movie so bad, not even the corporate legacy media critics can back this up, including NPR. From Aisha Harris.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
You don't want to join this club, and the Rotten Tomatoes critics hate it too. All critics are at 31%, top critics are at 20%. The only thing we differ on is why we hate it. I thought it was too racist. They didn't think it was racist enough. Oh, and the audience hated it too. Cindy S. gives it a half star, terrible premise, terrible movie, and a puking emoji, succinct, to the point. Captain Cheeks gives it 1 star. This film makes an attempt at satire but fails miserably. Telling an incredibly boring and predictable story, the movie's overuse of cliches and worn-out themes not only makes little sense as entertainment, but it also reinforces negative prejudices. The overwhelming disappointment stems from its forced and simplistic representation of divide. It is a tedious trip across well-trod ground from beginning to end, providing little in the way of analysis or understanding. It perpetuates stereotypes rather than challenging them, which wears down viewers who are frustrated by the lack of depth and innovation. All in all, a terrible misfire in a crowded field of contentious film already. Could not have said it better myself, so I won't. Again, this is easily the worst film in the last calendar year. Yes, it was worse than Madam Web. It was both pretentious and dumb, but it did encapsulate all the divisiveness in Hollywood in one single crappy film. Still, I have some questions. Why in the hell was LA so clean? Where were the fentanyl zombies? Exactly what was our unthreatening diverse male protagonist afraid of in the hipster part of LA? Bad food, film, and music recommendations? Why in the fuck did you not make a movie out of the Key and Peele sketch? And I'll ask again, why didn't the original
The American Society of Magical Negroes
slaves who invented the magic use it to escape slavery? You could teleport for fuck's sake. And how did anybody feel comfortable making this film? You know, though, I can think of one person this film's for.
Who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. It is hard to work with white people because they think that something made okay, but it was really a microaggression.
And for the people who don't think this film is racist, let's play a little game. You know the one I'm talking about. Let's replace white people with Asian people.
That's racist!
Latino people.
That's racist!
Multiple choice demographic.
That's racist!
Then I guess
That's racist!
conceptually this could have been a good film, probably if it were made in 2008 by somebody who was talented. Instead, it really personifies everything wrong with Hollywood right now. It's sad, it's angry, it's hateful, it's reductive, and it's dumb. I mean, just look at that title. According to the film star Justin Smith, I'm not even supposed to say
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Justice, how are you, mate? I'm good, how are you? I'm good. Hey, I'm really looking forward to your upcoming film. Oh, thanks. I'm not even sure if I can say the title. Am I allowed to say the title?
You know. I would just shorten it to American Society.
And I haven't said the title until now. The American Society of Magical Negroes is complete garbage. Don't waste your time.
Nerdrotic.com.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Oh my God!